Like he's a privilege to have and to be able to watch week in, week out. Like he is incredible. And I'm starting to think more and more as well that top 10 United players of all time.
I feel like it's almost like a mental thing of starting slow. Like we're just not starting quick enough. And I think when we do start slow, obviously when we concede a goal, it makes it even worse. But like when the intensity is not there from the start, then the game just drifts.
How are we, fellow Reds, and welcome to this latest match review of Crystal Palace and upcoming preview of Newcastle on Wednesday. Quick succession for Man United, which is unusual these days.
Rare.
Very rare. But you're back with me, Spen and Chaz over on that side to look into it and get into all the action. Before we do, as always, if you subscribed, if you're following us, big thanks. If not, please get on there, drop us a subscribe, drop us a follow. We're everywhere now. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We're now on WhatsApp. You can find us in the channels, and then we're on all the socials as well. So come and join us so you can get involved and not miss a thing. But a lot to talk about today, Chaz. 2 matches, so let's get straight into it. A big win at home against Crystal Palace. I was in the stadium. You was watching at home, so we've got 2 different perspectives, but what do you think from the top?
Yeah, like obviously similar to I guess the previous games of like Everton and things like that. Like the result is the main thing. Getting the 3 points, moving up to third feels amazing. Like never thought that would be possible. Like 3 months ago, where it is. Again, I won't get into it yet, but obviously mixed feelings on the actual performance. Like not a great first half, things improved, more energy, and I don't think it was just because of the red card. So, yeah, overall, obviously happy result, happy Big Ben scored, happy Bruno's still doing his thing. So, yeah, it wasn't lots of like standout performances, but you can't be anything but happy with the 3 points and where we're sitting in the league.
Totally, we're in third, Chaz. What a win! What a win! Obviously, the results of the weekend didn't necessarily go our way, but that makes it even more important that we just get our business done and get our game won. So,
yeah, exactly.
As you say, we'll get into it, and not the prettiest in the first half, but massive 3 points, and things carry on with Carrick. Me and you got a little bit excited in our predictions. We both went for 3-0, so not quite, but towards the end, we could have got 3.
Yeah, definitely could have got some more. Yeah.
And you predicted Šeško with 2 and Bruno with 1, so pretty good.
And I said penalty as well.
Yeah, you did. You did, actually.
I said Bruno penalty, so yeah, not far. Šeško could have had another one. He had that header in the first half, so
definitely could.
Yeah, not too bad.
And I went.
You said 3-0, right?
I did. I said 3-0. I said Šeško 1, Bruno 1, and Maguire 1. And actually, Barry and Chris, who sit next to us at the ground, I was chatting to them, and I said, "I've got 3-0 Maguire," and then Maguire got taken off.
Went off.
So that killed my prediction. But yeah, not quite with our predictions, but pretty close with our scorers. And then before we get into the details, the lineup, Chaz, obviously Big Ben started.
I think we predicted exactly what happened. I think we nailed it. At least I know I did. I don't know exactly what you did.
I think I said that Brian might have a question mark over him.
Oh, because of injury. Yeah. So yeah, mine was spot on, and I guess it was not rocket science to figure that out, to be fair. But yeah, I was pleased when I saw the lineup.
Yeah, same. I think I did a little short on YouTube just before the game when I heard on the radio that Ben was started, and I was very excited that he was in. And yeah, he did the business. But yeah, not far off on the lineup for me, and you were spot on. But let's get into it. Let's get into the details. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about in the first half because it was pretty dire.
Yeah. Obviously, the main thing in the first half was in the first 5 minutes, 4 minutes, I think the goal was. The Lacroix goal, like, just disappointing. I don't know what the atmosphere was like before that. Obviously, at the start of the game, I don't know how the atmosphere was, but I thought that kind of just set everyone a bit on edge. Like, oh no, is this going to be one of those games? It's going to be. Everyone's a bit worried this will start to be the slide that we've seen so many times with different managers. And frustrating goal, like Yoro just poor defensively. He was kind of man watching. Didn't look at the ball once. I don't know how obvious that was in the stadium, but basically constantly just following Lacroix. He did a little step, sent Yoro the other way, and then kind of really good header, to be fair. Like, can't argue with the finish, and I don't think you can kind of blame Lemons for it either. It was like right in the corner. But yeah, just poor defensively and disappointing that he got completely caught watching the man. Not a single glance. Yeah, how was the goal received at
Yeah,
the stadium?
the whole atmosphere really in the first half was flat, and I think that's
Yeah,
I think sometimes as a fan base we probably need to do a bit more to get behind the team, particularly when we want on a
yeah.
winning run. But at
It's
this
often reflective, right, of the performance.
exactly, and it definitely picked up, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was a flat start from everyone, from the
yeah,
players, from the
yeah,
fans, and like you say, that goal. It's such a shame because we were only talking about the Everton game where we literally defended 10 almost
yeah,
impossible corners and we were on it and like really dialed in. And then this one in the fourth minute of this game, it's just poor. Like you say, Yoro kind of loses his
yeah,
man. Good header to be fair, right back across into the
yeah. Really good, yeah.
into the bottom corner. But yeah, it was a shame.
And it wasn't a scrum corner either, was it? It wasn't like one of those dirty Arsenal Chelsea ones we saw yesterday. It
Yeah.
was just a kind of classic corner, which was just. I guess it's even more annoying that it was just good movement from a player and bad kind of defending from our side.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to happen very often, but they obviously switched us around, so they were shooting towards us in the east stand to
Yeah,
begin with. So actually, selfishly, that's pretty good because then we get to see a bit of a retaliation in the second half,
yeah,
and we ended up seeing all the game from the best vantage point really because their goal was
yeah.
there, and then obviously our retaliation
Sending
in the
off.
second half.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I think that goal kind of set the tone. But just generally, like how sloppy were we? I mean, I made a note during the game because Diego Dalot, and I said it on my shot as well. It was awful. Just as you, just as you kind of said, was it in the last pod that you'd fallen in love with him after the Rio Ferdinand podcast? He's kind of let you down.
yeah. Dallo, like, yeah, he did me dirty basically after praising him, and then just I don't know what he was doing. Just like his passing was poor. He was just oh. But I guess maybe when everyone else is playing well and passing well, then that improves you. But because everyone was being sloppy, I don't know. I kind of it's like infectious. It just felt like that kind of set the tone for the whole team. And yeah, it was just a bit like the Everton game where you weren't really getting the best out of Casemiro and Cobby. Everything was just a bit sluggish. Is probably the word I'd use again. So yeah, disappointing. And I guess it's slightly worrying, but at the end of every one still. So like you've got to just keep taking the positive out of it. But yeah, not ideal. And yeah, I think Dallo probably epitomised the kind of sloppiness of that first half.
Yeah, he did. He just kept standing out to me. And it's only one game, but I think if you were an England manager looking at that one game and you were doing Wharton v Cobby for that first half, you probably would have looked towards the side of Wharton because I think he was like pretty
Yeah,
tidy with his play, and that changed obviously in the
I
second
think
half.
he was dictating. Yeah,
Yeah,
for Palace, he was kind of keeping things ticking over, and he's probably one of their standout players.
but wait,
One thing I saw was did you see the obviously Shaw got injured?
yeah,
Um, And I think it's probably, I don't know, I've not seen afterwards. I don't know what they said yet, but it looked one of those classic kind of metatarsal
did it?
injuries.
Oh,
It was like a late, kind of like stampy, kind of late challenge. Definitely, I don't think I'm not sure he gave a foul, I can't remember, but definitely should have been a yellow.
really?
Or from Munoz, because there was one, Dallo did basically the same thing later on, like 10 minutes later, and he got a yellow, and Munoz didn't, and obviously Shaw had gone off injured. So not ideal, obviously, Shaw going off injured. I feel like hopefully it's just a bit of bruising and stuff like that. But I would be surprised if he starts for the Newcastle game purely based on how he went off and on the actual challenge.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit sloppy as well. But like you say, it was all round and just
Yeah, everyone knows. Yeah,
more inconsistency from referees based on that then. But I guess
yeah, yeah.
when it's the majority, Chaz, or pretty much everyone in the team, what's that down to? Do you reckon?
I feel like it's almost like a mental thing of starting slow. Like we're just not starting quick enough. And I think when we do start slow, obviously when we concede a goal, it makes it even worse. But like when the intensity is not there from the start, then the game just drifts.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because it's not City, it's not Arsenal, it's not kind of some of the bigger teams, so we just don't get as fired up. And I think that's down to the character change. Because in the second half, he obviously did fire them up because the energy was there and we were much better. So Yeah, I feel like it's not it's all mental, isn't it? Right? Because we know they're good enough to play good football, and we've seen it in those big games. So it's just kind of bits we saw with Ten Hag and with Amarin, and just that we don't seem to play well for a full game enough
Yeah.
against these smaller teams. Like we saw against City, we were unbelievable, but yeah, since then we've not had a kind of a full 90 or a full 70 minutes of really good play. It's been like 45 minutes, 35 minutes, 65 minutes, and it's just like, okay, well, yeah, is it just I don't know, a mentality thing of not getting them fired up enough, or they're not firing themselves up enough? Because you think now the opportunity to get Champions League football, get a 25% pay rise, like that's a decent little incentive right there. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'd think it should be there. So obviously as fans, we always think you should be able to kind of bust your gut every single game, but it's not reality when we see it. But yeah, I don't know what you think.
Yeah, that it's an interesting one because Amarim used to have us practicing bloody corners before games, and now Carrick's obviously made some changes, which seems smart in terms of when we arrive at the stadium and all that kind of stuff to try and help us, start well. But yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it was a real sluggish start, and because it was all round, I was just kind of you can't really pinpoint it on players and their application as much. Well, they have to take some responsibility, but just a bit more. I was like,
yeah,
what could we do to try and give a bit of a kick up the ass so that we're not in those positions. But yeah, just a slow start and just going back on the Shaw injury a little bit. And then at that point, obviously Mazraoui came on left back, and I'll touch on him a little bit more later. But he slotted in really nicely.
yeah. Considering it's not his
Yeah,
preferred side, yeah, I thought he looked better than Dalot and Shaw were looking before he came on. A lot more tidy in possession and looked better kind of defensively as well. So I'm always happy when Mazzari, like I'm never worried when Mazzari comes into the team, and everyone kind of knows we're big fans of Mazzari, so
yeah.
no concerns if he starts against Newcastle.
Yeah, but yeah, really, I guess really slow start and poor quality, but things did pick up. We had a few chances. There was one where Brian went through and kind of wasted it.
Yeah,
There was the Ben header, which maybe was a sign of things to come
yeah,
from a
yeah.
Bruno cross just warming up. And I don't know about you, but I thought we did kind of start to play around the 35-minute mark, and things did pick up from that point.
Yeah, I wrote down 32 minutes, but so you obviously weren't impressed for 3 minutes. But yeah, I thought things started looking better around that same sort of time. Yeah, I was like, okay, we're starting to play a bit more energy. The passing became a bit more crisper, and like I said, I guess it's maybe a slight confidence thing still, because when we did start creating those few chances, I think that just built the energy, built the confidence in the team, and we started playing better. So it's one of those things where it's like, if we had a few chances in the 10th, 15th, 12th minute or something like that, then maybe we would have played from there. But
Yeah,
it is what it is, right?
yeah. And I was at the other end of the Bruno free kick where Henderson tipped it over the bar. Was that as close? Was it as
Yeah.
close as it looked?
No, it was close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going in.
I think did he tip it onto the bar?
Oh, did he?
Definitely going in,
Yeah.
100% going in. I think he might have fingertip touch onto the bar and then over. But yeah, really good free kick and good save. I thought it was again, hoping it wasn't one of those games where Henderson, he's just a bit of a knob, isn't he? Just like just the way him and Pickford just annoy me as keepers, just like celebrating everything. Like I just they're just annoying. Very mouthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good save to be fair to him.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, I was looking out for him when he came over to our side in the second half, and didn't really get like much of a reception, if anything. Like I don't have ill feeling towards him, but yeah, he's sometimes a pain in the ass for us, isn't he? So I don't know what that is. But
Yeah,
and then yeah, just before the second half, there was kind of one more chance with the Casemiro header that went wide from another
yeah,
set
that
piece.
I think he should have done better there.
Yeah,
He was kind of like leaning back a little bit, but knowing how good his quality is and how many goals he scored this season, I think he probably should have done better. He should at least got it on target. To put it wide there, it was a good chance.
yeah, definitely. But generally, obviously, it picked up at 32 or 35 minutes, depending on whose notes were going off. But
Yeah,
not good enough in the first half.
no,
No.
no.
And then, yeah, going into the second half, obviously, shooting at the East Stand, which was good. But things were better, and quite a few,
Yeah,
few
straight
chances
away.
there straight away. We had that Brian kind of running through, and then he kind of came out to Ben, and he absolutely slapped a shot at the defender, and just I
Yeah.
could feel the mood lifting from those points.
Yeah, 100%. I just felt like, okay, we're going to have a go at this. You could tell straight away, okay, I don't know what I don't imagine Carrick's a hairdryer kind of manager, but it just felt like, okay, they got a bit of a rocket up them. So it felt good. I felt a lot more confident. Okay, we're definitely going to score here just because so confident in the attacking line. It just needs that impetus behind it and the passing. I think I saw that straight away. And like you said, with some of those chances where obviously they're hitting defenders and deflecting and things like that, but you felt like, okay, something's coming here. And he didn't really get that impression in the first half.
And we did score, and as you rightly predicted, it came through a penalty with first of all the build up, a great ball from Bruno through to Cunha. I
Yeah.
keep saying that, but Cunha is just class, and he's just a little moments guy, and like the way he just
Yeah.
turns and
Yeah.
gets past. Let's be honest, I've watched it back on Match of the Day, and it's a softer penalty, but he
Soft. Yeah.
and that is on a Manchester United podcast where we're saying it's softer.
Yeah.
What I did see on Match today, they like zoomed into his fingers on it digging into his shoulder. So maybe he's just got super powerful fingers and he managed to kind of pull him
He
down.
might have had really long nails
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
kind of dug in.
Yeah.
So it's actually a bit painful.
But
yeah, it was soft. It was like letter of the law, it's a pen because he is fouling him. But also, if you're looking at what they let go in corners, like doing rock bottoms and things like that, like you wonder, like, okay, well, how are you giving pens for that? But obviously, very happy. Like it did start, the contact started it just outside the box, so he was clever because he is a very clever player to go down in the box because he was still being fouled into the box. So, and then I think again, if it goes against you, you'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
Because it is soft, but letter of the law, it is a penalty and it is a red card because he was through on goal and he's last man. So you can't really argue with the referee's decision. And obviously, I'm not arguing at all because I'm very happy with the referee's decision.
Yeah, he's clearly through on goal as well, isn't he? Like, so yeah, and,
Yeah.
you'd like to think he's putting that away. So it would have been really frustrating if it's just, the red card probably would have still happened, but just a free kick is like, it's far from a guarantee.
Yeah.
But and then before we get onto Bruno converting it, as VAR seemed to take forever. I don't know if it's because I was in the stadium, but what was it like watching that?
No, it took a long time. That's why I was thinking. It's always one of those ones where Henderson's good at. He's got like a good penalty saver. So you worry like, okay, it's taking so long. Like people, you kind of trust Bruno, but like penalty takers get in their own heads. It's taking like 5 minutes. It felt like it took like 4 or 5 minutes for them to figure it out. It was like, I don't know why it took so long. I think maybe they were trying to decide if the ball was closer to Henderson than it was to Cunha, and that's why maybe it would have been a red card because he was never going to get to the actual chance. But yeah, it takes so long, and I don't know why that one took so long, to be fair. But
Yeah, it took forever.
Bruno did his business anyway, so
Outsmarted Henderson and slotted it into the other corner. Apparently, I
yeah,
saw that
nice.
Henderson and Bruno chatting afterwards, and like Henderson was kind of saying, "You're supposed to go this way." So there's a bit of
Oh really?
yeah,
Been studying his pens.
yeah, outsmarting him, which is cool. Like you say, imagine just being stood at Old Trafford with the ball in your hand, just all the kind of atmosphere and chanting going on, and having to slot that. That takes some. That takes a set, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that 1-1 brought it back, and I think from then the mood definitely and the atmosphere definitely lifted. A few interesting stuff from the red card. It meant that Larson went off for Palace, obviously their striker, which is good. And yeah, so kind of got into it, and then it wasn't so far after that where we got that Big Ben moment, and what a cross from Bruno, and
what a ball.
the way Ben attacks that is hopefully a sign of things to come and what he's capable of.
Well, I read something. Oh no, I heard it on a podcast. I can't remember which podcast it was last night, saying that they saw Bruno chatting to Ben in the first half. I think Bruno put a cross in, and then I think Ben was back post, and Bruno was like, "You need to come front post."
Yeah.
And then obviously he makes that run towards the front post, and basically nails it. Obviously, unbelievable header, unbelievable cross. Just like that's why I'm loving about Big Ben is that he's scoring different goals.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even started scoring his screamers yet because he's got an absolute rocket on him.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to adding those into his goals. But at the moment, like just seeing what a top striker this guy can become, I'm like, yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Like he wasn't favourite to win that header.
No,
like he came from behind, got in front of his defender again, showing his pace and his movement, and then to get the connection to score it was like, yeah, amazing goal.
Yeah, I think I saw what you saw. There was a bit of analysis on Match of the Day last night as well. I think where it was showing Bruno kind of giving pointers and, sometimes having a pop at his fellow players. But, if it results in people listening and actually, changing their ways, then we'll take it. And maybe future
exactly.
Man United manager Bruno Fernandes, are we saying?
Wow. So what was it on the overlap? What's his face? The Portugal manager. Martinez was on it.
Yeah.
And they were asking, basically he's like, Bruno will be a manager. He's already said it. So maybe we'll see that in the future.
And another Bernardo Silva loving on there as well. I think he was mentioned. It's much to your delight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd say like Bruno's, what's that? Is it 7 goals, 13 assists now for the season? And most of that was playing bloody deep line midfielder. So those numbers, like how people can be critical of him, it's just ridiculous. And I think the record's 20 assists, right?
Yeah.
So we've got 10 games left. So 7, well, you need to break the record, right? So can he get 8 assists in 10 games? Like, the only thing that might stop him is that he might score a few.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't put it past him. But, what a player. What a player.
It's definitely on that record.
Yeah. But I was pleased that we just got the goal as well because, obviously we've struggled against 10 men in the past as well, and it can be difficult. But Crystal Palace had a few huffs and puffs, but I kind of always felt from that spot that we were going to win.
Yeah, I was never worried really about them scoring unless we did something stupid, basically.
Yeah.
Like a dodgy back pass or giving away a stupid foul or a corner. I wasn't really worried. I thought, if anything, we'd score another one rather than them kind of getting the equaliser. So it was just a kind of, from then, like, I think we also created some decent chances to probably have got another goal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't too worried about Palace.
No.
Going down the other end.
And Wharton went off as well, which is good after.
Yeah.
Tidy, definitely a tidy player, very tidy player.
Yeah. The only thing is with him is he, I don't know if obviously we're replacing Casemiro. I don't think he's the person to replace Casemiro because I don't think he's combative enough.
Yeah.
And he's just too similar to Cobby. So that's why I'd probably still just go for Anderson over Wharton.
I'd agree.
Is where I'm at the moment.
I'd agree. And then so, like I say, a few more chances from us. That chance for Casemiro, like point blank, good save from Henderson, to be fair.
Really good save, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
He connected with it well, to be fair, and like Henderson got down well. What I saw. But yeah,
that's the thing with Cass is like you don't like he's popped up with a lot of goals this season, so you just got to think again like that's a decent hole we got to solve in the summer.
Yeah.
He's so useful in both boxes.
He's been brilliant. He really has. And then Ahmad came on for Big Ben. Big Ben went off to a great reception. Like he'd done his bit. Don't get me wrong, all round he wasn't doing loads and loads, but I said it in my shorter video. Number 9 for United, that's what you want. Just score them important goals.
Yeah.
And he had a few flashes at goal as well. So just keep it going, please.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And then a few more changes. Heaven and Josh came on for Harry and Brian. Question mark over an injury with Harry Maguire, maybe that I've heard since.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, where was it last week as well? He went. Is it the West Ham? Another game where he went off and he kind of, maybe was he clutching his hamstring or something like that? So maybe there's something underlying there, and they're just kind of trying to protect him for Newcastle. Hopefully, it's not something that's kind of developed into a full-blown injury. He can keep playing. I guess we'll find out in the next day or so. Because we could definitely, I guess, a physical team like Newcastle, you don't want him missing.
Yeah, we're just really benefiting from his experience at the back as well at the minute. Yoro was kind of shaky at times again. Good as well, and he's obviously had a good game against Everton, but it's really good to have someone so experienced next to him. And then thanks to the joy of VAR, we had 8 minutes added on, so I was a little bit nervous, like trying to watch the clock tick down because I just wanted to hold on to that win. We had a few more chances as well. It was like we were trying to walk the ball into the goal toward the end, like breaking away and passing it between us.
I still think, don't you think Ahmad? I thought he did well when he came on. He was
really good.
He had a really good run down the wing where he kind of anticipated the challenge from whoever it was, the left back,
so
and then
good.
kind of carried on going. Really good. I think it was, did he cross it to Xerxes? And Xerxes, I think he hit it into a player. I can't remember who it was. But I thought Ahmad was decent. I think he's he's doing the right stuff. He's just not getting the numbers in terms of the assist or the goal at the moment, but he's still doing the right stuff. He's still putting the application in. I think he just needs like one of those things to convert into a goal or to an assist, and that'll kick him on again. Because he had a decent shot as well, like
Yeah, he
was
did.
it from Bruno's?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
save again from Henderson.
So yeah, I thought yeah, exactly. So I think he's like some people were giving him a bit of stick recently. I don't think it's really that fair. He's not been as hitting the heights as he was before, but I think he's still putting in good performances and contributing positively to the team when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, it's just classic end product, isn't he? He's a little magician.
Yeah,
That run you were talking about was literally right in front of me, and it was so good to see. Just like the
yeah,
way he manipulates the ball, and then like you say, he just let that slide challenge happen and just went past him, and we were like,
yeah,
get in! What a little run that was. But yeah, if you can add
yeah,
a bit more end product to his game, like we know he's a good player, and he's had some massive moments for United already. But yeah, he's someone that definitely gets you off your seat. That is for sure. But yeah, I think game of two halves really, and massive, massive win taking us into third.
yeah.
So I was just delighted to get it after a shaky and bad start as we've mentioned. But in terms of player ratings and your man of the match, Chaz, who kind of stood out to you?
I think you have to go with Bruno for man of the
Yeah,
match. Like it wasn't one of his games where he completely like was in his kind of magician mode, doing everything, but like even just taking the penalty after a long break and still slotting it in, and that takes, like we said before, like some ball to do that. Then also obviously the unbelievable assist as well, and then just some, like you said, there's some little touches for Amadi, the cross he put in the first half, and his free kick. So I'd probably have to say Bruno, because no one else really stood out. Obviously, like we said, Ben obviously scored an unbelievable header, but didn't do too much around that. Not that he necessarily needs to, but I'd have to say Bruno. I can't really say anyone else really stood out for me in the same light as Bruno.
I've got exactly the same, Chaz, and I'm happy to get bored saying it. Like the guy just
Yeah,
deserves everything. Like he's a privilege to have and to be able to watch week in, week out. Like he is incredible. And I'm starting to think more and more as well that top 10 United players of all time. I honestly think, and it's a big, big claim, but the way he kind of what he's doing in an underperforming team and the numbers he's stacking up, he shouldn't be punished because he's not been surrounded by greats and by trophies.
yeah, pairs on his level. Yeah, exactly.
He's
Yeah,
that good. I mean, I probably need to dive into a few more of the stats and the history logs and stuff like that. But he's got to be up there with with one of our favorite players to watch and players to appreciate.
yeah, yeah,
He's unbelievable. So yeah, for me, like it wasn't his best game, but again, it just shows even when he's not 10 out of 10, he's still just
yeah,
making a massive difference.
yeah. It still delivers the numbers, right?
Yeah, the other person I just wanted to give a shout out to, I mentioned him earlier on, was Mazraoui. Honestly, I thought when he came on, like he's such a good footballer, and he slotted into that
Yeah,
left back so well, and did a few moments where he just takes the ball really well. I really like him in the team.
I would say he's one of those classic kind of United players, which a lot of the squads are built on in the past. These winning squads is like he's never a 3 or a 4. He's not often a 10, but he's like a solid 7 or 8 every week,
Yeah,
and that's just what he comes in and does. And I think again we've mentioned obviously Shaw and Dalot, and I think they can have a 4 in their locker and they can have a 10. And I
yeah.
think maybe sometimes you're better off having a Mazraoui who just slots in, does things well, but doesn't. Yeah, he's not a world beater, but he's just consistently good, tidy on the ball, good defensively. Like, yeah, I'm a big fan of him as well.
I think he's unlucky to be on a bench at the minute. He's probably one of the main ones for me where I think, yeah, he probably deserves a bit of a run, and maybe now, he might get a chance with Shaw and Dorgu being injured. I don't know what they'll do. I actually thought that they might shift Dalot to left back and him at right back because they've done that in the past, haven't they? But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he deserved the mention. Quickly on Palace, like thoughts generally.
Uh, Obviously they got the goal early, but even when they're 1 up, and obviously we obviously were trying to push on, dominate possession a bit more. But I don't know, I wasn't that impressed with them.
No.
Like the odd player, kind of. I think what's his face is good. Star, that's it.
Yeah,
Ismail Sar,
yeah.
that's the one. Yeah, I think he's a decent player.
I
Like,
really like him.
like him. I thought he was decent. I think he was the only real one when they were down to 10 men in the second half, where I was a bit concerned about him doing something. He's quite decent on the ball, good dribbles. So yeah, I'd probably say him. And then yeah, Wharton was decent. And then I think we said before in the preview in Munoz as well. I think he's actually someone I would consider as a signing.
Genuinely.
Like I think he's very good going forward, and he's also a decent defender. So I think he could be a decent Dalot challenger. I would probably say.
Yeah, I really like him. I noted him down. I just like his physicality and pace, and I think he was even more talented to us when we were playing like a back 3-5, wasn't we? Because he kind of
Yeah,
does well there.
yeah,
Very good fantasy footballer as well. He often gets.
yeah. I had him in last year, and he got us a lot of points. I
Yeah.
think he was injured, so I took him out.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, I wasn't. Like I say, they started pretty well, pretty tidy on the ball, but kind of when we got ahead, and obviously with 10 minutes difficult, but yeah, we've seen better teams, I think. But positives just generally from the game.
Win, obviously.
Yeah.
Again, winning without being unbelievable is always a positive trait still. And then obviously Ben and Bruno, you got to say are positives. And then we mentioned him a lot last week, but Lemon's just doing the simple stuff well still. Like couldn't really have done much for the goal other than pull out an absolutely unbelievable save. He's got a fingertip to it. So yeah, they're the main positives that we've already kind of covered. Can't really say much else other than that. No one else really stood out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, I mentioned Mazraoui at left, coming in at left back. That's useful in terms of squad. And then obviously us coming back from a goal down as well. It shows a good mentality from the team as well. I don't want it to become a habit of us going a goal down.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we've got that in us, and Carrick said the same as well. I think that's his takeaway, the fact that we could turn it around after a pretty bad first half. And in terms of negatives, they're probably the ones for me. First half was really bad and tough to watch, particularly the first 30, as we said. Dalot and a few other players with their application from the off needs to be better from the next game.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other kind of negatives or improvement ideas?
I think you've covered them off really. And if Shaw is injured, it'll be interesting to see how Mazraoui comes in. It might even improve us how we start the game, just because he's so good on the ball. He doesn't give the ball away, so maybe that will help. Like I said before, not spread that kind of infectious kind of sloppiness, which often does start with kind of left and right backs because they get the ball a lot and start a lot of the action off. So essentially that will be a positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, nothing else really to note.
Nice. And then just having a look at the rest of the weekend, really. Obviously we had that great win for Wolves, which helped us kind of get up into third. But then, unfortunately, Liverpool won 5-2. That was it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a smashing, but I watched a bit of that, and it looked like West Ham had a few chances as well. So maybe I'm clutching at straws, but that was annoying. And then, and then obviously they had the City Arsenal thing where City managed to get their 1-0 win against Leeds, and the game yesterday with Arsenal and Chelsea, Arsenal managed to win that 2-1, but Chelsea had that late goal disallowed as well. So it's gonna be an interesting
2 corners to 1.
Yeah, it's so dull to watch, isn't it?
Oh, like who was it? Yaya Toure was on the commentary, and he was basically like, "What is happening?" He's like, "This isn't football." Like he was obviously a mercurial player as well. He's just like it's boring to watch.
Yeah.
The corners are it's just horrible, like dodgy football.
Yeah.
It's just horrible to see if Arsenal win the league. That's how they're winning it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and it's one of them, innit? Obviously, you don't mind if that's in your locker and you're doing that at times, but it just feels that Arteta in his
that's their tactic.
Yeah.
That's plan A, right?
I think so. Yeah, Arteta was saying the opposite, and saying, we've scored goals from open play, and I don't watch enough of Arsenal to be, completely precise, but it just every time you see it, it's just some kind of bundle in the box, isn't it? And header. So.
Yeah, I mean it's big games. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the big games where they're winning because of that tactic, and it's just a bit dull.
Yeah, fair enough. And are you with me on Spurs going down yet?
I was in with you already, and I've just obviously like they've lost again. They were lucky that the results went their way, so it didn't really impact them kind of dropping there. I guess it's just the form is still poor, so you got to think that's going to be knocking their confidence.
Yeah.
So they're definitely at risk. Definitely at risk.
I think, and as I said it before, I think it's more than a risk, as it's.
Yeah.
And then obviously Tudor's talking some madness as well in press conferences and stuff as well. It could get ugly, but like you say, they might just survive because the other teams don't manage to get enough
Yeah.
points around them, but they are not
Yeah, exactly.
not
Yeah.
helping themselves. But yeah, cool. A good win for us. Then a decent weekend up into third. I'd say not like us this season, but we got quite a quick turnaround with Newcastle on Wednesday. So let's have a little look forward towards that game. So it's on Wednesday, 4th of March, 8:15 kickoff in the UK at St James's Park. Have you ever been to St James's Park, Chaz?
Yes, but not to watch football, to watch
Have you?
Scotland in the World Cup 2015.
Cool stadium.
Decent stadium, actually. It's like a cool stadium. Yeah. Yeah.
Really
It
good.
wasn't sat in the super steep bit
Yeah.
where they stick the away fans. I was just kind of in one of the long stands. But yeah, it's quite a cool stadium. Like the walk up to it, it's like on a hill and stuff. Yeah, it was decent stadium.
Yeah, it's mad, but when you put in the gods, it's interesting. But yeah, obviously a proper football place and a good place to go. Less so on obviously a Wednesday night, unfortunately. But yeah, it's also on
Yeah.
TNT Sports in the UK. And yeah, just Newcastle in general. I was trying to kind of ask myself where they're at. They sit 13th in the league, a
Yeah.
point behind Sunderland. But they're still going strongish in the Champions League after they battered the Carrier bag. And then there's a few question marks over Eddie Howe. But where do you kind of see Newcastle at the minute?
I think the pressure on Eddie Howe is, well, I don't know who's picking the signings, but they've been spending a lot of money, and they spent a lot of money in the summer. Obviously, they sold Isak, who's their best player, but I don't know how, I don't think they've been spending that wisely with the amounts of money they're spending. Like obviously that Watermende looked decent at the start, but he's kind of fallen off. Elanga hasn't really done much. Um, so yeah, like I think if Everton are scoring three past you, you've got to be disappointed, right? Because Everton aren't like a free-flowing football team. They normally grind out a 1-0 win or 2-1. Like, so just to concede three at home to Everton, I think you've got to be um, pretty disappointed. So I'm thinking like if they continue in this way and they get knocked out of the Champions League soon, I think Howe will be under pressure.
Yeah.
In the summer, and obviously they've got a kind of mega money owners. So if someone a bit more trendy comes along, like De Zerbi or something like that, and De Zerbi doesn't end up somewhere, Glasner, like there's going to be managers out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get, if he gets sacked in the summer. I think from a squad perspective, yeah, they got like decent players, but since Isak's gone, they don't really have any standout kind of top players. Like I guess Guimaraes and Tonelli can, if he was kind of put in a better squad, maybe they could be top players. But they're just they're just a good team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that kind of mid-table to kind of European places is where they should be sitting. And they obviously don't have the squad to handle Champions League and I guess the Premier League.
Yeah, massively. I think, last three Prem games, like lost 3-2 to Everton, lost 2-1 to City. They beat Spurs, but what does that mean? 2-1. And obviously in between that, they beat Karabag and Villa in the Cups. But I've seen them a couple of times, and I think I'm saw her against City as well. I feel they're definitely vulnerable defensively, but they have got some goals in them as well. So we definitely can't take it for granted. Their
No, 100%. Yeah.
form at St James's Park hasn't been great, but obviously it's not an easy place to go with the atmosphere and stuff as well. You've just touched on him. Bruno, I think, is their main man, and he's out apparently for around 10 weeks. So that's a massive loss
Yeah.
from the heart of their midfield.
Big positive for us. Yeah.
Massive, but tricky game. In terms of ones to watch for you, Chaz, you kind of mentioned a couple of players there, but anyone else that kind of stands out for you?
I guess at the moment Gordon, because
Yeah.
he's scored lots of goals recently, and he is a decent sort of Premier League attacking winger. I don't think he's like, and I think he's at his level. To be fair, I don't think he's kind of top four player, but
Yeah.
he's one to watch. He can be tricky. He has been scoring goals. I think Tonali's a decent player. I think their midfield, if they had Bruno in it, is like, well, they dominated us physically in the last sort of three times we played. So, but without Bruno, kind of, he's the kind of head of that kind of physicality. So I think that's a big miss for them, which is again happy with that. And then obviously old club kind of Elanga is going to want to prove himself,
Yeah.
right, playing against his old team. So I think he has scored against us in the past when he played for Forest. So he'll be out to try and sting us. So they're probably the main ones I would say, and like you said, defensively, I don't think they're great. You've got like big lumps like Dan Burn. So then that does make me think maybe will Šeško start? I don't know, just because maybe they'll like to go for that kind of into playing pacey front three
Yeah.
instead of Šeško. But again, I'll get to my team in a bit. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, Tonali is obviously one that stands out. I think he can link with United as well. In some of the outlets. I don't really see that. I think a little bit like what you mentioned with Wharton before. He's not the player that we need. Like we need more of a
No,
Casemiro replacement. And I think we want to give Cobby time. I mean, he needs someone that can probably challenge him and stuff as well. But would someone like Tonali be up for doing that? And
I think you'd probably rather Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, definitely.
He's more of a Casemiro style player.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of his physicality, but still tidy on the ball. I think he'd be a better match next to Cobby than Tonali would be.
Yeah. And then I also like Lewis Hall. I think he's a good player. Pops up with some important moments as well. But hopefully has a quiet night on Wednesday. In terms of our team news on the back of the result yesterday, there's probably some question marks over Harry Maguire. Obviously, definitely Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw now. And I've no idea what's going on with Mount and Dalot. I've been listening to some of the press conferences. It sounds like Mount's not too far away. And then Carrick's kind of mentioned Dalot's back problem. But the question did get asked to be like, look, we were told that it was going to be like a week or so that he'd be out. And he's been out for ages now. So, yeah.
November? Was it November?
Can't remember.
He last played. Around then, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And
definitely pre-Christmas.
And he was having a great season as well, wasn't he? So no idea what's happened there.
Yeah. Yeah, if Maguire's out and we're having to start Heaven and Yoro, then that is a concern.
Yeah.
Just because there's like I think they're both going to be top players. It's just you want a bit of experience, especially against a physical team like Newcastle.
Agreed. So with that in mind, what lineup are you having, Chaz?
Obviously Lemons in goal. I'm going to go Dalot right back.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have Dalot play right back because I think he's better. He needs to play in his own position more so than Mazraoui will do.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna hope Maguire is fit and have Yoro next to him, and then left back Mazraoui, and then the midfield three stays the same. And then I don't know whether he's going to mix it up or not. I think Ahmad did well off the bench, so I'm going to stick with the front three of Šeško, Junior, and Brian. It did work, and I think, like I said in the last pod, I think Šeško isn't just a lump. He does offer pace, runs in behind, so I think that's still a threat there. And you do worry with their big defense that maybe they would just dominate Brian if he was up there, and we just kind of keep chucking stupid crosses in. So I'm going to stick with that front three.
Fair. I think.
Any changes from you?
Mazraoui in at left back. I think Maguire's going to make it. And then maybe that's more wishful thinking than anything.
Yeah.
But I do think he's going to drop Šeško back to the bench for this one and just try and cause some problems with Newcastle on the counter and like running at Dan Burn.
Yeah.
Again.
My only reason why I think he might stay in is because he took him off quite early.
Yeah, true.
So I thought, well, maybe he's kind of saving it. I don't know. That's just me wishful thinking again.
Yeah, but obviously if he can come on again and score, then happy. But no, I think in his press conference he kind of said we'll see what happens on Wednesday. Things could change, and maybe he's got in my head. But I can see him going back to his Brian through the middle approach.
Yeah.
And score. What are you going for?
I'm going to go 2-1 United.
Scorers.
I'm going Šeško, and I think Brian probably is going to get a goal.
Nice.
So that's my 2. And then for them, I'm going to go Gordon. Goal.
Decent. Chaz, I'm worried. And I don't. Yeah. So I've actually gone.
I don't predict losses ever.
No,
so.
I'm not doing that either. And obviously, I would love nothing more than for us to get a win and march on. I just think after the start yesterday, after we kind of played back to back against West Ham and didn't really show up, I've gone for 1-1, and I do not want this at all. But if I was just trying to really think about it, I think it could be a tricky one. Like I say, Newcastle are a bit unpredictable, but based on that first half performance, maybe it's just got me overly nervous, and I hope I'm totally wrong. And if I can start predicting that we lose or draw and then we start actually winning 4 or 5-0, I'll take it for the good of everything. But yeah, I've gone 1-1 and Buemo for us and Hall for them. So
Okay,
I
nice.
really hope we clip this up and I look like an idiot, but just
Yeah, hopefully like a clown
that
because
is
you hate
because I
United.
hate United. No, and I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope we get another win and we get even closer to those top two. But just a little bit nervous. But then just quickly looking at the other games, there's probably only one that really stands out for me and could help us out a little bit. Villa and Chelsea on Wednesday.
Yeah, gotta hope. Well, they're
What do you want?
dropping points somewhere, so
What do you want?
I was thinking just a draw. Well, I'm assuming we're winning, so a draw is probably a
Yeah.
decent one. So we take a bit of a gap on Villa, and then an even bigger gap on Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think if anything, we probably just want probably a Chelsea win. But I don't want a Chelsea. A draw would be best. But that's the one that really
Yeah,
stands out. And I'm sick of talking about the title race because unfortunately we're not really in it yet. So let's not talk about that. But
yeah.
that's a game, Villa Chelsea, that kind of stands out for us. But
I'm hoping Wolves can do a little, continue their decent form, at least maybe a little get a stodgy draw against Liverpool or something like that.
I
But
mean,
we'll see.
yeah, that's a lot to ask. But if they could, I'd definitely take it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I hope I'm totally wrong. Loved yesterday, loved being there. I hope United march on and get the win. But let's leave it there for now after reviewing Palace and looking forward to Newcastle. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? Are we going to get the win? Is Chaz right? What's your lineup? What's your score predictions? Right. Let us know across the platforms. Like I say, if not already, please subscribe, follow. We're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the socials, all the places. Really helps us, and also make sure you don't miss a thing. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you think. So please connect and let us know. And just want to say a massive thank you, as always, for watching and listening. Really appreciate it. And come on, United. See you in the next one.